If we talk about the Kage in the Naruto world, the first thing that usually comes to mind is these powerful figures with awe-inspiring strength. But not all Kage are that strong, bro. Some are actually considered weak, either because of their decisions or their fighting abilities being outclassed by other Kage. So, in this video, we're going to talk about a few Kage who, despite leading their villages, are thought to not meet the strength standards we expect from a Kage. Who are they? Get ready to be confused by who's deemed the weakest among these Kage. Darui is the first Raikage without the name A. As the fifth Raikage, Darui is often seen as one of the weakest Kage in the Naruto world, and there are several reasons why he made this list. When talking about Darui as the fifth Raikage, yeah, you could say he's a bit unlucky. He's not that weak. After all, Darui did defeat Ginkaku and Kinkaku, who managed to defeat Tobirama. But imagine being the successor to the fourth Raikage, whose muscles are like steel and whose speed is like lightning, while Darui mostly relies on black lightning. First off, compared to the previous Raikage, Darui doesn't have the same level of physical strength. The fourth Raikage is known as one of the fastest and physically strongest shinobi, even able to take on monsters like the Hachibi. Meanwhile, Darui relies more on his intelligence and elemental-based jutsu, like black lightning, which is powerful, but not as brutal or impressive as the raw strength of his predecessor. Plus, Darui's leadership came during a more peaceful era, so he didn't have many opportunities to showcase his strength in major battles like the Kage before him. The Hidden Mist Village has always been known for its fierce fighters, and its reputation as the Bloody Mist speaks to its savagery. Despite boasting one of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist and unmatched mastery in kenjutsu, Chojuro lacks versatility, and his strength mostly relies on his swordsmanship. He doesn't have a Kage Genkai or secret techniques, which all the previous Mizukage had access to. Chojuro as the 6th Mizukage is kind of an example of good guy wrong era. If you compare him to his predecessor, Mei Terumi, who could use lava style and boil release, Chojuro seems a bit underwhelming. His signature jutsu is pretty cool, and he does have the legendary sword Hiramakare, but the problem is, his fighting style feels like someone in early Naruto who hesitates to attack. If you look closely, he feels more like a supporting character than a leading Kage. On top of that, he often appears hesitant and indecisive when making important decisions. It's like Chojuro is the intern who suddenly became CEO and has no idea what to do in the boardroom. He's not super weak, but if you imagine a Kage who could face enemies like Madara or the Akatsuki, Chojuro just seems a little too chill. No wonder many people think he's one of the weaker Kage. Talking about Kurotsuchi as the 4th Tsuchikage, yeah. She definitely had a heavy burden as the successor to the legendary Onoki, but unfortunately compared to her grandfather who mastered Jinten, Kurotsuchi often doesn't shine as brightly. She does have lava style, which is really cool, but she lacks those epic moments that make you immediately say, wow, this is one crazy Tsuchikage. Kurotsuchi kind of feels like someone who got a high position at the office through nepotism, but doesn't really have standout skills in the field. It's true she's not entirely weak, but when we're talking about Kage-level strength, our expectations are high, right? Instead, Kurotsuchi tends to play it safe and doesn't show the kind of power that would leave enemies trembling. So yeah, it's fair that she's on this list, not because she's useless, but because she hasn't had any moments that make her feel like a truly intimidating Kage. Kurotsuchi still has a lot to prove to step out of Onoki's shadow. Now, when we talk about Kakashi as the 6th Hokage, a lot of people might think, wait, Kakashi weak? No way! But if you look at his strength as a Hokage, Kakashi is a bit different. We all know Kakashi is a genius with experience that can't be underestimated. But when he became Hokage, he didn't have his Sharingan anymore. And that's the problem. Sharingan was Kakashi's main strength all along. From being the copy ninja to using Kamui, everything revolved around that eye. So, without it, it's like Naruto without Kurama. His power dropped significantly. Sure, Kakashi still has great tactics and cool fighting skills, but compared to the previous Hokage, who could unleash large-scale jutsu or had absurd powers like Hashirama or Minato, Kakashi feels more like a company manager handling admin work rather than fighting on the front lines. He's not as strong as he used to be in battle, so it's no surprise that many see Kakashi as one of the weakest Kage. Even when a meteor fragment was falling toward Konoha, he just watched it. But luckily, Sasuke was there. But yeah, that doesn't mean Kakashi isn't smart. just that in terms of physical strength, he's fallen behind the previous generations. When it comes to Rasa, the fourth Kazekage, to be honest, he's kind of disappointing. But one of the most important moments in Rasa's career as Kazekage was when he saved his village from Shukaku's rampage. As Gaara's father, you might think, wow, he must be really strong. But the reality is, well, not that impressive. Rasa even lost to Orochimaru, and at that time, Orochimaru was busy looking for a new body and doing weird experiments. To make matters worse, Orochimaru took on the form of the Kazekage and manipulated the Tsunagakure ninja into invading Konoha. What's even worse is that Rasa purposely made Gaara a Jinchuriki to increase Gaara's power. This is way different from Minato, who had to make Naruto a Jinchuriki out of necessity. So that's why Rasa ends up being one of the weakest Kage in Naruto. And that's the list of the weakest Kage in Naruto. Do you agree with these Kage being considered weak? Or is there another Kage we haven't mentioned?